What is a full-time traveler exactly? What does that even mean? Do you have to be a certain age to live the travel lifestyle? In this episode, I'm going to dive into all the definitions. Welcome to the How to Travel Full-Time podcast. I'm your host, Heather Markel. If you're dreaming of full-time travel or moving abroad, but stuck at the emotional, financial, and logistical challenges, this podcast is for you. I'll help you trade overwhelm for information that gets you from down and stuck to up and going. You can dream about the travel lifestyle, or you can live the travel lifestyle. If you're ready to live it, then let's jump in together. Welcome back! I thought the perfect place to start this series would be with defining what I mean by full-time travel. Hopefully, you'll see there are so many different ways to do it, and this episode will help you sift through some of the questions about how to get started. When I was first looking into traveling full-time more seriously back in 2016 and 2017, everyone I saw doing it seemed to be in their 20s and 30s, which I was not. They also mostly seemed to be wearing bikinis in front of hotels and taking photos of themselves influencing travel to various destinations. I didn't want to do any of those things, so I thought maybe full-time travel wasn't for me. But once I jumped into the lifestyle, I started meeting more and more other people living it too. And they were all ages. In fact, I'd say the 50 plus demographic is one of the fastest growing to adopt this lifestyle. No doubt thanks to the pandemic. So if you're worried about needing to be a certain age to start traveling full-time, I'm here to tell you that you can explore this at any age. And obviously, depending on your age, you're going to have very different concerns and different planning needs. But I'll dive into those in later episodes. The next question you might have is, do people travel solo, with other people, with their family? The answer is yes. I'm a solo full-time traveler and have met so many other wonderful solos out there. I'd say there are more female solo full-time travelers than male ones, but they are both out there. There are also a lot of couples traveling full-time. Some are married, some are dating, some are just friends. So really, it's two people that may be in a relationship. Maybe they're just friends. Maybe there's just no definitions. It's just two people traveling and enjoying this lifestyle together. And there are more and more families, parents traveling with one or more kids and raising them with the world being their school, which I think is so cool. All right, so now that we've looked a little bit about, covered a little bit about the ages and the group sizes, let's take a look at some definitions. What exactly do I mean by the term full-time traveler? As a starting point, I define a full-time traveler as someone who journeys between destinations that are not home to them, and they're doing the travel for an extended period of time, but it's not a vacation. So you might be traveling for a few weeks, a few months, a few years, even indefinitely. There's no one way to venture into this lifestyle. But let's take a look at some of those classic kind of travelers that make up the categories of full-time travelers and delve into some of the unique aspects of each one. You're probably very familiar with digital nomads. These are people who travel with their own business. One, they may have started before the travel, so they possibly built it up, and so they have a fairly good idea of what their revenue is going to be each month, and they feel comfortable paying for the full-time travel. They may also create a business while they're in the middle of their travels, because you can get so inspired as you're traveling full time to try something new and different, and why not start a great business? This category can also include freelancers who are doing project work for other people, or like social media or website design for other companies. There's no one flavor or single business type for this category. Another category of people who are traveling full-time are retirees. These are people that have officially retired from work, are receiving retirement income, and using that retirement money so they can actually tap into their 401k and other things because they're officially retired now, and using that monthly income for the travel itself. So they are not working anymore at all. Another emerging category that I'm going to expand on a bit, I'm going to call it, to start off, I'm going to call it divorcees, right? So people that are, I think people are more and more understanding that full-time travel is a wonderful way to reconnect with yourself after a tragic life event. While I started by saying divorcees, I mean, really, I'm referring to anyone that may have lost someone dear to them, lost a job, had an emotionally devastating event, and wants to find themselves again. So I think this is a growing category of people. Another big group are remote workers. Now, several years ago, a remote worker referred to someone who was just sitting in their kitchen or their home office. And I feel like we need a new term, because I think that the concept of remote work has expanded, right? So in this case, I'm talking about people who have an official job, typically with a corporation, but they're doing that job from any place they want. Not their home office, not their kitchen. I'm talking about another state, another country. They're anywhere. And they'll be traveling around the world or their own country, changing locations so that they can explore the world and also have a reliable income source. Now, that's quite different than another category known as expats. So expats, which is short for expatriates, will also work for a company, but the biggest difference between them and a remote worker is that an expat will officially move to another country. So not just travel there, they're moving there. They're going to stay in that one country for the duration of their work contract. Obviously, they can take vacation, but it's like if you lived in Idaho or you lived in Paris, you're living there, right? And so it's your vacation time that you're using for the travel. So they're going to stay in that country or location for the duration of their work contract. They're going to rent an apartment and essentially live a quote unquote normal life, but in a different part of the world than they are now. Another category, I'm playing with words here, but sabbaticales, people on sabbatical, right? So people who can get a paid or sometimes unpaid leave from a job. Typically, someone who's on sabbatical will be guaranteed to get their employment back after an extended time away. That extended time is often anywhere between 3 and 12 months. So these are people that, while they're away, aren't working, but they're intending to go back to the same job after they have completed their full-time travel experience. And then we have career breakers. I guess I'd fall into that category. People who leave one job, they intend to start another one, but are taking time off in between the two. Maybe they're clearing their head. Maybe they want to enjoy life for a bit. They may have that other job lined up before they go out into the world, and they may actually not. They may just actually revel in taking the break and trying to figure out what they want to do next. Now, there are definitely other micro categories and new ones popping up, but this is a pretty good idea of what a full-time traveler is, some of the types of people who start the full-time travel lifestyle, age categories, and hopefully clarifies a few things just at the foundation of what the concept of full-time travel means and who the people are that tend to live this lifestyle. Next week, I'm going to dive a little deeper into how you can decide which type of traveler you should be. So stay tuned. Got questions? Reach out anytime. Hold on for my website information, and I'll talk to you next week. Thanks so much for listening to the How to Travel Full-Time podcast. If you loved it, please leave a review and let us know. Make sure to subscribe to get the latest episodes. Check out the show notes for important resources related to this episode, and come visit us at travellifestylecoach.com to learn more great information. If you're ready to get started with the lifestyle, go to moneyfortravelbootcamp.com, where you can learn all the strategies to afford this amazing lifestyle. Talk to you next week.